For the Soviet Union! Welcome to the Tielieketi incident. This is, of course, a bit of combat between Soviets and Chinese guards, border guards specifically here, on the borders between the Soviet Union and China. And I have a pretty good idea of how I want to set up my men. Now, I've waited a bit in this actual battle to make sure that I get these APCs in a position I want them. And again, this is barely even a battle. This is a border incident. We don't know if there's going to be too much contact, but if any Chinese troops try to get across, there most certainly will be. I'm going to keep that unit there. I think we might still have some additional units all the way back here. Tielieketi and Govor, and again, these are just border guard units. But nonetheless, we need them to protect this area and hopefully stop the Chinese from advancing here, avoiding a much larger incident. The Premier will be watching for sure, so let's hope that everything goes nicely. Again, this is the Tielieketi incident DLC. Very interesting little DLC, to say the least, and it really simulates the actual border regions here, very mountainous, hilly, and pretty much abandoned. And of course, to spot the enemy is quite a challenge. Now, we've got our actual APCs here. We've got Tielieketi and Puchkov. I'm going to go ahead and grab this APC and also go on a hunt maneuver forward. We don't really know who owns this territory, and us and the Chinese are trying to figure that out. Also looks like we might have some MiGs coming in for air support. Let's hope we won't actually need them, but just in case we do, we are bringing them in. And I'm going to start moving these border guards up. I think we even have these little border guard dogs, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, they're not with their keepers currently. But their keeper is going to be moving forward with Kalashnikovs. Let's hope for the best, boys. As always, we'll return when the combat begins. Contact has started, and as you can see here, contact like this definitely occurs across quite a large space. Looks to be about 200-300 meters away. Our men have already gotten out of the vehicle, but we're already getting hit by some pretty heavy Chinese forces here. So I want to take Olvoskij, the APC, and see if he won't push up a little bit more so we can actually get a real bead on the enemy here. This has turned into a serious fight. We thought we were just going to have a minor border incident here with the Chinese, but they fired first on our men, potentially killing one of them. It looks like he's just wounded. He's actually kind of moving around there. Not sure about these guys, and that's actually an officer that's been hit. So let's keep lighting them up, boys. Advance with the APC. I like that both of them are getting shots here with those tracers are going out well, but hopefully that air support will arrive soon. Looks like the Chinese are also trying to sneak behind our men here, and luckily we were pretty much prepared for these guys. Looks like we've got them under fire. Knocked out two of them there, but I'm more interested in the position over here that our APCs are currently firing at. Let me get a closer look at that. Thankfully, we've got the technology advantage in this battle. Not necessarily for if we continue fighting this or if you get this DLC. The Chinese also have their own vehicles. Oh my goodness, beautiful job. This is how you protect a border. We're absolutely wiping out that Chinese unit. It looks like the officer is down as well. Pretty reckless. It looks like they're using something resembling an SVT, while our men are using AKs. So again, there's that technology advantage. And I'm sure that's just a Chinese copy of the SVT. If anybody wants to name it down below, go for it. We've got that area pretty well covered. Let's make sure that Babichev is also assisting here. This is, of course, our border guard unit. We don't want that APC to be alone. So I'm going to move... No, it looks like Babichev is not too keen on moving. Just going to have him head out this way. If he spots something, great. If not, then so be it. I think we've eliminated that threat pretty much. Our men should be pretty proud of themselves. We should take a look at casualties. There's a lot of blood here. But you know what? I don't think a single one of our boys was actually knocked down, which is very lucky for us. Yeah, not a single one. Wounded, but not killed. And still capable of fighting. He's still combat effective. First part of the border incident seems to have gone beautifully, my friends. And of course, now we're just looking for additional Chinese forces. I'm sure right now our government is on the phone with theirs. There's a lot of angry back and forth going on. And hopefully they can shut this thing down sooner rather than later, because I don't want any good Soviet men dying just to stop this assault. That being said, we're going to keep our positions, and if we get another attack, we're going to be right back here to take note of it. Once again, it looks like the enemy forces have actually gotten in behind us. We ordered a general advance to inspect the area ahead, but look at this. Actual forces right there. So I don't know how many of them there are, if it's just remnants from the unit we just engaged in that fight. But we're going to have to get up these hills. And you can see this is not easy on our men, having to go back up these hills here. Just awful terrain for movement, period. Just really difficult terrain. Nonetheless, we're going to keep on proceeding forward. And this is, look at that. That is actually the border. That's really cool. So it's actually the Chinese side of the border, it looks like. We're back on our own side, but still have Chinese forces here. It looks like maybe just one guy, and potentially even sort of like special for... No, never mind. It's the standard beret. Thought it was some sort of cool helmet. No luck. So we're sending Puchkov over there. We're sending Olyeski's here. Just pretty much anybody that can engage. And you can see these guys are ready for a border conflict, without a doubt. We are ready to take these guys out. Now this is amazing. We've actually got helicopters in flight here. I believe these are known as MiG helicopters, but I'm not familiar. I didn't even know that MiG had a helicopter brand. So just look at this, guys. That's just so awesome that we can actually watch a helicopter attacking in this game. It's not something I ever expected to see. Unfortunately, he has been hit pretty bad by what looks to be Chinese RPGs. So I'm actually going to take our guys here. At least we know where the Chinese are. We're going to send an attack this way. We're continuing the attack over there with Babichev, because as you can see, they are actually about to get to the heights of Levaya, which is one area we want to try to keep under our control. So I'm already going to start targeting them there. I'm just so psyched that we got to see that helicopter attack. And I think he might be coming in for another one here, if I'm not mistaken. It'd be great if we got some more helicopter support right there. Oh, man, look at that. He is definitely leaking. Yeah, our helicopter is having some issues for sure. So he's heading back to base. I do believe we get another one fairly soon. But for now, we're going to have to deal with what we've got. At least our guys are starting to spot the enemy there. They're all in the valley here. If we could just target them, we could finish this fight very quickly. Come on, boys. And again, with this terrain, it's really hard to actually spot the enemy. I mean, it's hard to even get a shot, much less actually see them. So let's just push forward here. I think these guys will be the first to make contact, Olyevskij and this APC. And sure enough, they are engaging. Beautiful. We need those guns firing non-stop to make sure the Chinese aren't returning fire and knocking out any of our men. Looks like we killed one of them. He's got pretty damn close. Yeah, one of them is down. The rest are actually advancing here. I don't know what their game plan is, but we've got to give them everything we've got here. It'd be great to get Terebenko over here to assist, but maybe our BTRs alone can kind of hold the enemy back. I think the suppressive fire can pretty much keep them at bay. Yeah, look at that. Wow. So their unit is jumping towards the heights of Levaya, and of course they could claim this for themselves in a diplomatic situation. We don't want that to happen. So again, I really do want to send Babichev there. The rest of these guys just have to keep their focus ahead here. It looks like our guards have also taken cover. Return fire. We've got the superior weaponry here. I'm not too worried about that. Now we're starting to see officers. We're starting to see a much larger grouping of the enemy. So let's take the opportunity here to really, really let him have it. Puchkov is getting to the fight as well. I'm confident he's going to be able to spot them fairly soon. And I'm starting to see some of our boys actually getting very close here. I'm kind of worried about them. Look at this, guys. Our border guards moving up at this point. Yeah, we've got Govod. This is actually the commander, I believe a colonel, that's assisting during the battle. Pretty much the head commander in this fight, but he's trying to get here, and with all the Chinese advancing on that position, this is definitely the right move. It's just the continuous fire in that general area. Hopefully we can put a stop to this. I knew they were going to have additional troops, but if not for that helicopter, I would have never spotted them. And what I really hope happens is that Babichev has a successful campaign against the rest of those guys. But let's get back to the gunfight here. By the way, if you guys enjoy this channel, always make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and of course subscribe. If you want to help in an even more direct way with all the time I spend on these GT videos, you know YouTube is not a huge fan of them, make sure to consider donating to Patreon $1, $2 a month. It really does help. And I don't think it's quite a lot to ask for. Gotta ask sometimes. What can I say? Speaking of asking, let's see if they're asking for more attacks here. I think it's time for a brand new offensive. We take every single one of our units here and push forward completely. We leave Babichev to go do his thing, but we take everybody here, and instead of staying put and suppressing them, we take the offensive to them and force the area under our control. And again, some really nice shots here. You know what I'm going to do is this. I'll take one of our APCs. I'm going to go ahead and push forward. I'll take Olzieshkish. I'm going to push forward as well. And let's take Puchkov as well. We'll let our infantry sort of do their thing. So actually we're going to keep Puchkov here to provide covering fire, because since the infantry are actually attached here, they will move with him. It's sort of a mechanized infantry deal. Come on, come on. You guys are getting awfully close. This is not the kind of close combat I'm looking for here, but the Commissar insists on getting as close as possible to the enemy. My goodness, man, look at that. It's a hell of a weapon. And again, maybe a Chinese copy of an RPK. And we really didn't need to bring the rest of the men for this fight because there's just so many enemy units here. Now, one problem is Terebenkov, as well as our commander, is kind of just hanging back here. We've got to push them forward. Otherwise, we're going to lose the momentum and the firepower on these guys, and they're going to be able to pop out of here quite easily. In fact, it looks like they're trying to do that right now by dropping smoke. They may be massing an attack, although we've done a lot of damage to them already. In fact, in this DLC, this is without a doubt the bloodiest fight I have yet had. And this is not exactly the bloodiest DLC. You can actually get through fights with only a couple kills sometimes, a couple wounds. This is going to be like a major border incident. Certainly be in the news. Here we go. Oyevsky's, this is perfect. Close enough, close enough. I don't want to get too close. That's good enough. In fact, I should have just had him aim. That works. And we just want the enemy under fire. Come on. Light him up. I'm going to get another flyby with that helicopter, if you want to know the truth. There we go. That's the kind of firepower I'm looking for. In addition to all of our units here, I'm also providing some firepower. Look at that Commissar, man. That is just beastly right there. That guy is a boss. Using the RPK here. I wonder if the fight is almost over or if they've got another trick up their sleeve. Again, with these border incidents, you never know what the enemy's bringing to the fight. You just don't. Looks like our guys actually just fired a missile, anti-personnel missile there at the enemy. Completely wasted these two guys on top of the hill. I think at this point it would be fair to take some prisoners, but I've never taken a prisoner in this actual DLC. I think it would be extremely shameful for either side. Here we go, our officers arrived. What's he gonna do? We need our Soviet Rambo to be cool here. Come on, man, come on. There we go, good shot. Looks like he got him. They're just clearing out the area here. Still some Chinese units right there in front of the hill. It's incredible how battle just pushes people all over the damn place. And Babichev is getting to Levaya with little to no resistance whatsoever. Alright, here we go. Some additional forces. Look at that. Look at that. They still have some groups here. Actually looks like an entrenched position. So we truly are reaching the Chinese line at this point. That scares me. Because this, we have to admit, is probably their border. This is actually their border. Since they're nicely dug in here, they could pose a threat. Could pose a problem, of course.
Riječ patrone.
Rieš papirone. Tielieketi to just wipe this guy out. Might not be able to. Bit too close. So Govor and Tavarenko are going to kind of ignore that unit for now. Look at that. That is beautiful. Come on, Tielieketi, get him. You could also see this dirt road. I mean, you could just, sort of speculate as to what this signifies. But who knows? Maybe this is the border. Maybe this side over here is China, and this side is Russia, or vice versa. In this situation, it's just very unclear. In fact, the actual land boundaries are still fairly unclear in some parts to this day. During this particular conflict, yeah, that finally seemed to have popped off. But I think we've dealt with the Chinese defenders here. They might still have some guys in those bunkers, but I'm not seeing them. This is a guy we got to worry about. The guy just hiding in front of Tielieketi. Alright, we spotted some officers. That's what I'm looking for. Just got a good shot on them. May have knocked the officer down. I'm still not 100% sure. But they're absolutely taking cover in these foxholes. And these are certainly foxholes here. Not proper trenches, but they pretty much function as proper trenches. As long as the enemy doesn't keep popping their head out here. Careful, 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 careful. We already lost one vehicle to slipping and falling. And sure enough, look at that. A few Chinese soldiers dug in here. They can surrender or they can be taken out. Good shooting, good shooting. Alright, returning fire. The fight is still not over. We need Govor to get that supporting fire in here. He may be an officer, but he sure as hell can keep shooting. We just want to wipe out any of the officer class still left in this area. I'm amazed the enemy has not asked for a ceasefire. I think I would accept one at this point, since things are so unclear, and since they haven't actually taken any of our locations yet. I would be fine with a ceasefire, but they are not offering it. That guy had to have been hit there. Look at that, absolutely. Those rounds will get you, boys. Those rounds will get you. We're finally going to get this straggler. Just detain him. Just detain him, Dimitri. Don't kill him. Oh, Dimitri. Why? Why did you do that? He was not going to do anything. Well, you know what? He was just protecting himself. He feared for his life, and it happens. It's just kind of par for the course, I guess. Alright, look at that, guys. So very effective so far. I can't wait to see the casualty count in this fight. Look at that. Now, that's cause for concern. Babichev has stumbled across the enemy, and there's a whole lot of them. We need to get Bushkov and Tuyaklin to assist here. So these Chinese have actually gotten behind the line, and they have ambushed Babichev here. As you can see, they're under fire, and I can't blame them for not returning fire. Looks like one of them has already been hit once. We've got a nice group of Chinese forces right there. And of course, guys, we're trying to get reinforcements to the position as quickly as possible. But getting across this terrain is just ruthless. You know, this is pretty much, very close to almost like the Nepalese terrain, close to the Himalayas here. It's sort of the pre-stage to that. So a bunch of hills, very rocky terrain, low hills, a lot of muddy areas as well. It's hell to get through here. No wonder this area is fought over, because it's just hard to say who really owns what. That being said, we've got to grab these guys. We've got to try to help Babichev. So I'm still going to send Pushkov, Tuyakin, and probably a few more guys over here to help them out there. Let's see if Babichev has regained his composure. Oh. This is an unfortunate loss since we've done so well so far. His returning fire there with his AK. Let's hope he can survive. I know it's a whole squad of Chinese forces right there. Yeah, unfortunately that guy is almost certainly dead. Both of these guys, KIA, for sure. I think Babichev is trying to just save his skin. And that's the right move in this situation. We've still got some officers up here. So that's why Govor and Tabrenkov and the rest of these guys cannot stop the attack in this area, in this sector. But hopefully we can stop it in the other sector. Let's see, is he trying to escape? Or we've got some more foxholes. This is where we could really use some additional helicopter support. By the way, anybody who's gotten this far in the video, I do want to thank you. And let us know in the comments down below. I always like to find out who's really enjoying this series and sitting through it the whole way. I know there's some of you out there because this is probably our most popular series on the channel, so I do appreciate you guys for that. Looks like one of the guys got knocked down, not an officer. You can actually see that guy's medals on him, which is really cool on the chest. I hope he'll kneel again so we can spot that. But taking out the officer is going to be important. And there we go. Enemies finally offered us a ceasefire. I feel like almost to save Babichev, we should accept it. But I still want to just make sure we wipe that officer out. So I'm going to keep firing, but just for a little longer. Might even try to break and make a run for it. That's always a possibility in these situations. See where Babichev is. They haven't held the point, but I'm afraid that they might take it before we the ceasefire actually runs out. I mean, look at that. Yeah, we're pretty much fighting on a mountain. I mean, that's what's happening here. Fighting on a mountain. Pretty amazing stuff. So a lot of our border guards heading towards the situation. Look at that. The Chinese are actually popping up distress flares, trying to attract the attention of nearby Chinese units, no doubt. And the question is, are they going to get that support, or are we going to get there first? And that's why I feel we owe it to Babichev to still kind of put up a fight here to the very end and not accept the ceasefire just because I want to see if we can wipe out this unit or get them to surrender. That would be an admission on the Chinese part that they're on the wrong side of the border, of course, and would look quite good for Russia. So I'm sending them all in, sending everybody in to try and knock these guys out. That's how serious I am about this fight. That's it. We've got our boys firing already. Tielieketi will be up there as well very, very soon here. But as you can see, the fight has begun. I just want Tielieketi up over here on top of this hill. Should be able to look down and see most of the Chinese units down there. But yeah, this fight is not over until we knock those guys out. I think we've got to keep up the fight. See what's going on over there. Looks like everything's kind of calmed down, although I don't doubt that Trebenkov and Govor, our two colonels, are constantly spotting units over here in those foxholes, and if they get a chance, they will take that shot. Come on, come on. Good work, boys, good work. Surrender now. That really would be the best thing the enemy could do. I mean, we've got them surrounded here. Unless they try to retreat this way, they'd be retreating across an open steppe. And this might be the only non-hilly area on this entire map, and that would be a big mistake. So we're sending in our other border guards to Tielieketi. Hopefully they can just go ahead and overwhelm these guys. Surprised Tielieketi can't spot them yet. Alright, Tielieketi, you're going to have to charge in there as well. We're actually sending in a group of units, as you can see. We're going to be very close to contact here, and hopefully they don't ambush us. Nope, we've got eyes on them. Definitely got eyes. Езжу противника. Okay, here we go. We've spotted the enemy. Definitely an ambush. Oh my goodness. There's a whole lot of them. My goodness. Officers, soldiers, everything here. Maybe we overestimated them. Or underestimated them, I should say. Some serious grenade action going on here, and we've still got some Soviets fighting. These are absolute heroes. He just took some serious shots. He did too. Man, just vaporized on contact. We've got to close the gap here. This is modern combat for sure. They're not kidding around. Want to get a medic to those guys immediately. I'm not sure it's going to do much good. I think we might be able to save him. That guy in the center is toast. Light him up, light him up. Look at that. They're actually well spread out here. We need that APC opening fire. Puchkov has got to do his duty here. Open fire. That's it, that's it. Don't let them breathe. They are prepared for us, setting off tripwires, grenades, anything you can think of. We're even bringing Babachev back if he's willing to fight. Fortunately, I don't think he is, but we've got Olsevskij over here. That was pretty rough. Watch out, Tielieketi. Watch out. Those were some heavy-duty grenades that were being used there by the enemy. Let's just take a look here. Still a few of them alive for sure. You can see a bunch of them down here, 4 of them, but they definitely still have a few alive. Just infantry for... I'm thinking just infantry. I'm not 100% on that. We just push in there with the APC. Tielieketi will just kind of keep an eye on him. Olsevskij. We need to move down there as well. And I'm hoping once we push through here that the enemy will get to just kind of just pretty much try to leave the area. Although again, now Puchkov seems stuck. So like I said, this terrain is terrible in just about every way. For vehicles, for men. Just terrible, terrible terrain. We'll move up with this guy, see what he can do. Let's get a grenade out there. Let's get a grenade out there. There we go. Puchkov actually was able to reverse. Careful, careful, careful. He's getting way too close to the enemy, and he's putting his head up way too much. Good shot. We got one of them for sure. Definitely got one of them. Actually, moving back might be a wiser choice here, since we seem to have a pretty good view of the enemy. Although now they're popping smoke. I'm not sure if there's any more left here. Let's just take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them down. It seems pretty good. There's got to be 8 or 9 in this squad. Surprised at how many of them snuck through, but that's to be expected on a conflict like this. Езжу противника. I think this area is wiped out. I don't see a single one of them left alive. We must have taken them out. And our guys are walking around pretty casually, all things considered. That's gotta be it. Oh my goodness, he's doing a war crime. He's just desecrating the body of the enemy. That's not what we're looking for, guys. Come on, be nice. So just looking back to see if we have any more contacts, but I think that's going to be it. The enemy has not taken any of our positions. I can go ahead and accept that ceasefire with happiness. So our premier called their chairman, and it looks like everybody's agreed to stop this madness. We're going to try to put the results in the paper, but of course the results will probably say 2 or 3 Soviet casualties wounded, when in reality I'm sure we're going to have a few dead in this fight. The question is how many, and more importantly, how many of the enemy have gone down during this just massive debacle. Probably one of the best fights I've had here in the Tielieketi incident. Okay, a draw. I'll have to accept it. We did get a bomber achievement, which I didn't expect, and it looks like casualties were 7 killed on the enemy side, 4 killed on our side, 44 heavily wounded on the enemy side, and 18 heavily wounded on our side. So pretty interesting how the casualties broke down there. I'm guessing with, you know, more modern war, more modern medical technology, so a lot of these guys were able to actually get patched up. That being said, they're going to have wounds that are going to change their lives forever. You know what you got to do, guys. If you want to support the channel, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe, and all those goodies. Also, don't forget to hit the bell so that you're always notified of my videos. And if you guys made it to the end here, do me a favor. For those of you that are Graviteam fans exclusively, what other games would you like to see on the channel? Comment down below.